Mike, let's hop in. It's great to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute after the program today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate you.
You bet. So let's begin our journey before we get into your work by asking you this. 6 years ago, this pandemic was changing so much about the way we lived our lives. How did you get through that era, and how has it affected the way that you coach and help others and live your life today?
Oh man, the pandemic was crazy, but it actually was really good for my business. As a professional organizer, I help people to get decluttered and get rid their lives of clutter and chaos. And a lot of people were stuck at home. And so a lot of people, like, not the first part of the pandemic, but the latter part of 2020, a lot of people were still stuck at home and were like, okay, I don't really care about the pandemic. Let's wear some masks and some gloves and help me declutter. So it was good for business, but personally, my house felt really cluttered with the fact that we couldn't go anywhere, and my sons were athletes, and so they were stuck at home. They were used to going to school, going to practice, coming home, doing homework or whatever, and going to bed. And so that changed the dynamic of our home. And so, I mean, we survived it, but what I learned was that it was a time for reset and being able to sit with myself and help my clients to sit through their stuff, right? To recognize where you are, to be more self-aware. So it was a huge time of reflection for me. And what I take to my clients is like be self-aware of what you have, what you're going through, because you can't get to the other side until you know where you are.
It's interesting because that is the metaphor for that time period. People were doing a reset, and it seems like organizing and decluttering was probably on the top of people's lists. So, did you have a big spike in clients?
Absolutely. My clientele at the latter part of the year, probably October, September, October, started to skyrocket to the point to where I was booked up for almost a month and a half out.
Wow.
And so it was very busy.
So, let me ask you this. If I put you in front of a bunch of 13-year-olds at career day, and one of the kids wanted to know exactly what you do for a living, how do you explain what you do for clients?
Yeah, so I help clients to rid their lives of all the things that they are not using, that they don't want, that's not benefiting their life. So we do the decluttering process of taking items, taking a look at it, and then we assess whether we want it or we don't want it. Then we get to do the exciting thing, which is putting it back into nice containers or pretty hangers. And then we just beautify that space to where it works for them. Now, I don't do any client the same. I work with every client based on where they are, but we still use the same framework. We still use the same concept in order to achieve the goal. So, helping clients to rid their lives of the clutter and chaos of all the stuff that they don't want, that they're not using, that's laying around, that's not benefiting their life. And then we make peace and productivity with the actual things that they have left.
So, let me ask you this. When you were that age, what did you want to be when you grew up? What was your dream job?
I wanted to be a pediatrician.
Okay. Okay. Well, you're helping. Yeah, that's right. I mean, you're helping people get to a healthier place. So, um,
Yeah,
they're probably a little bit
I
older, you know.
yeah. So I was always very organized. So I was always organizing, even at a young age when I wanted to be a pediatrician. I was still organizing and making things better in the house without my parents' permission. And so I would kind of get in trouble a little bit because I would be moving things, putting it where I think it should go, or I thought it would be best. So I've been organizing my entire life, but I did want to be a pediatrician. And I still love working with kids, even when I'm organizing in homes with families. the kids are so intrigued, first of all, about why you're in my house
Uh-huh.
and you're touching my things. So what are you doing? So then I get them totally involved in the process. Like, can you help me sort these spoons and forks? Can you put all the breakfast items together? So I get them totally involved in the process and they just love it.
So, in the battle of nature versus nurture, how much of this desire to organize were you born with, and how much of it was a part of the seeds of parenting and friends and relatives and everything that was a part of you growing up? How did it become your vocation and your focal point today?
Yeah, so I have, like I said, I've always been an organized person. My parents are the total opposite. Now, listen, they're clean, but they're cluttered. They have a lot of stuff. Still to this day, they're like my worst client, okay? Uh, I mean, seriously. But my sister, she actually saw the gift in me at a young age. And so we're about 6 years apart. And so she asked me to fly out, and she was living in Seattle working for Microsoft. And she was asked me to come out because she was moving to Charlotte, North Carolina. So she asked me to come and help her get packed and get organized so she could move here. Now I was still work. What was I doing? I think I was at that point I was an entrepreneur. I had a daycare.
Oh, wow.
So
There you go.
yeah, I've done all the things. So at that point, I had a daycare. So me and my kids flew out, help her get organized. And to make a long story short, I was at her house again, helping her to get organized. I mean, I don't know. She just keeps ending up in my story. And so I was at her house, and at this point, I was working and opening up mail, and this time God was like, "It's time." And now, Joe, I have not at this point ever thought about being a professional organizer. I didn't know what it was. My sister did tell me I needed to do it as a profession, but we still didn't have the language for it, right? I was still thinking more cleaning ladies and stuff. But when I did what I did was went home and did research and realized that people were getting paid extra a lot of money for what I had been doing for free for years. Like I would go to my relative's house and my sister-in-law's house, and I'd be like, "Can I fix your pantry?" Like I just had an inkling for it for so many years. And so, with that being said, I went, did the research, started my business, and at that time, it was more so about organizing the physical space. But what I learned is that creating the organized life is way more than the physical space. And so, in the past few years, I've geared towards um, helping people and coaching people how to create the organized life with your schedule, with how you wake up in the morning, how you go to bed at night, how you get the kids involved in their life, in their process, right? So your day starts the night before. So how you create the organized life is more than just organizing your physical space. And so that's how I got on this journey of even doing the coaching outside of just the physical organizing. So now I'm into both of them. So that's how it got started.
I almost feel like in your line of work, you're selling yourself short because you need to add therapists and psychologists to what you're doing, right? Because at the end of the day, the root of all of this is all of these things from early in our lives, this chamber, this room we get stuck in that we have to psychologically, it's like an escape room. Like once you unlock that metal key, right? Then it makes it easier to fill the dumpster.
That's so funny. It's so true. So, in the professional organizing world, we do our best not to call, like not to step inside of the territory of a therapist or a psychologist because we're not technically
Yeah.
certified to do that. However, we do a lot of it. Okay. I get a lot of tears. I get a lot of hugs. I get a lot of I have a lot of hard conversations, and I'm actually in the process of going to school to be a therapist. So because I saw the connection and I want to be able to help my clients on a much deeper level, but there's very much connection to it. And a lot of professional organizers, well, I won't say a lot, but there are many professional organizers who are therapists, psychologists, and some of them started there and some of them started as a professional organizer and then went into the realm of being a therapist or a psychologist.
So let me ask you this. When you look back on all the clients that you've had, and you don't have to
Mm.
be specific about the
Right.
client, but what was one of the most difficult ones that made you grow the most? That you were like, I don't know if this is going to happen. And then what is an example of a really easy client where you go in, maybe not quite sure knowing what's going on, but it turned into a breeze?
Yeah. The most challenging clients are the ones that are dealing with more of the emotional things. Their parents have passed and they've been handed down all of these things that they don't know what to do with. And so the emotional aspect of dealing with my stuff, which they were probably already cluttered before they got handed down all these items. And so now they're sitting on, I've had a family that was sitting on their stuff, their mother's, their parents' stuff, and then their spouse parents' stuff. So they were having like three, four sets of furniture in the house and don't want to get rid of it. You know, that old furniture is good, right? They have great quality stuff. And so you like your stuff, but your parents' stuff is much better. So you don't know what to do with it, right? So that's probably some of the most challenging times when it comes to dealing with the heart of the matter, right? And having people to disconnect the stuff from their loved ones. They're not the same. And so you can still create memories. You still have the memories of your parent, your sister that gave you the thing, even if they're not here anymore. And so, how can we create the memory? How can use all of these shirts your dad left you? We can create a T-shirt. We can create. I mean, we can create a pillow. We can create a blanket
Yep.
instead of just having them shoved in a closet or in a trash bag or something like that. If it's a piece of furniture, maybe we can get it restored and we'll replace something in your house with it. So it's just that's probably the most challenging clients. Because if I walk in a room and it's completely cluttered, you see clutter and chaos, I see possibility. So the clutter doesn't really bother me. It's dealing with the emotional aspect of how I can help this client get to the other side of the emotion that they're carrying, the hurt and the pain from a lost loved one.
So, yeah, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to answer your second question. The easy clients, which is kind of just what I was just saying. Dealing with the stuff, that's the easy stuff. Like all of my clients think they're the worst. They like, I don't want you coming over here. My house is a mess. Da, 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 you know, all the things because they think it's the worst. A lot of times I go and I'm like, oh, this is a breeze. Sometimes it's like, oh, this is a lot. Just because I know it's not a lot for me, it's a lot for them to handle making the decision on what to keep and what not to keep. But ultimately, the easier clients are the ones that it's not a lot of emotion attached to the stuff.
Yeah.
It's just my room is a mess, my pantry is a mess. I need to get it cleaned up. When we deal with like family members and things, that becomes more challenging.
I've read something that it's really an American thing. We have these houses, there's always something. Kids get stuff in Happy Meals. There's always this accumulation of stuff. And then we have this emotional thing. Like we have to hold on to a memory. But when I think about like Europe, for instance, when I've been over there, like they live in more of apartment style living. And it's not a part of their culture to just hand out all of these physical things. You know, it's like, does that
Yes.
seem like an American phenomenon that we get all this stuff and we feel like we have to hold on to it as memory gatekeepers?
Yeah, we're a consumeristic culture, right? 54% of America lives in clutter and chaos. And that's what we see when you do research. But I'm 100% sure that that number is higher, along the line of 70%, because clutter and chaos is relative to, you know, the eye of the beholder, who's looking at it, your perspective, right? So we a lot of our older seniors, they are afraid to get rid of things because they had a hard time even accumulating things, right? Their generation, they worked hard for what they had, right? And so now we're coming up in a generation who I don't want my kids to go through what I went through, so I'm going to buy them all the things, right? What the problem is that we don't understand that it's the law of reciprocity still stands. You cannot live peaceful, productively. You cannot have blessings to come in if you keep holding on. If you always have a closed fist and you're holding on to everything. In order for things to come in, you have to open to receive them. In order for things to be released, you also have to open to let them go. So we keep bringing things in. Our house is not getting bigger, right?
Hmm.
It's just not going to grow. You're going to have to spend more money to get a bigger house to hold all the things. So we have a very consumeristic and wasteful culture. We don't even realize what we have. Most of the clients that I deal with, we're going through things and they were like, on the back of my shirt that I wear to my client's house, it says I was looking for that. I've never had a client not say it. We find something that they were looking for. And then one of the biggest things also is that I didn't know I had that. I didn't know I had three of those. I didn't know I had three coffee makers. Like, you got one in the garage, one in the pantry, and one you're using. They didn't realize they had all of that.
Yeah.
So we just consume more than we actually need, and it's burning us down. It's just draining us physically, mentally, and emotionally.
So, who's been your hero? Who's been your inspirational force to allow you to find this vocation in your place in life?
Um, I would say that my sister has been a very sounding board for me, somebody that I can actually go to. She's actually an entrepreneur also, doing really big things. She does a lot of marketing. But she has been very instrumental in me getting started on my journey. But once I got inside of the professional organizing world, I became a part of the National Association of Black Professional Organizers. Like, they are 9 years old. My business is 9 years old also. And I'm the president of the National Association of Black Professional Organizers currently.
Yeah.
But the community, we have been instrumental. They have been instrumental in my life, and I am also in turn trying to be instrumental in others' lives to help them see the benefit of organization and actually help other professional organizers on this journey to learning the profession because it's something that it's at this time it's actually growing, right? More people know about it, but it's still really a hidden profession. If you look on the forums and they ask for profession, you're not going to find a professional organizer on the line. So we either do like an interior designer or just some type of customer service or something like that. But it's a hidden gem. But my community, as far as professional organizers, the National Association of Black Professional Organizers has really, really been instrumental in my life in developing me as the profession that I am. But my sister on the personal side has been very instrumental in my life.
So when that alarm clock goes off in the morning and you get ready to go, feet to the ground, tackle your day, how do you protect yourself from all of that psychological stuff that's going to be a part of your client's life and allow yourself to do a good job and to protect your soul, nurture your life? What's that collective energy for you to do it at a high level every day?
Yeah, so I do a lot of meditation, a lot of prayer and devotion, especially in the morning. I am a early riser. I don't like to work early, but I'm an early riser and I get my meditation done, my reading done, my prayer done. And then one of the things that I think people have to understand for me, when I'm every client for me brings a tremble. It brings I always feel like, God, I want to do a great job for this person, right? I don't know, especially the first session, the assessment. I don't really know them, so it's like I'm praying each person. How, Lord, how can I help them? What can I do to help this person? Because it's very emotional thing, right? So they don't want me. They're afraid for me to come in their house, even when I'm working virtually, them having to show me their space via camera. There's a tremble inside of them. And so I'm just always humbled and thankful that they allow me into the space where even some of their families don't even get to see. They won't have people over. They aren't having their social events anymore because they're so afraid of people seeing their homes the way that it is. So I'm very honored. I don't take it lightly, and I do a lot of praying.
So let me ask you this. Let's say you had a dream tonight. You ran into that younger version of you wanting to be a pediatrician, and you
Mm,
walked up and you had a big coffee table book in your hands, and it's your life that you've lived so far. And you hand it over and say, "This is how your life has turned out so far." Would that young version of you believe that this is the life that you've orchestrated?
no, no. I was taught, I go to college, get a job, get married, and that's how you do it. I did everything wrong. I did nothing like that. I went to college, I dropped out, I got married, went to hair school, so I was a cosmetologist also. I had a daycare. I did all these things before I got to this intersection. I was in retail management, which is where I think I really I got the where I started having fun with organizing because I was an overnight manager and we stocked shelves. So I managed all the people in the store while they were stocking overnight, and we basically organized the store for the next day. And so, no, my younger self would not believe that this would be me waking up when I wanted to, working when I wanted to, having the clients that I love, working with people that I love. No, I thought I would be cleaning up babies, checking hearts, and working with parents on how to, help their children become healthy and strong.
So I got to know, as the queen of the organized life, is your or do you live by kind of a mantra of minimalism, or are you like a Swiss Army knife? Do you have everything organized so it kind of comes out and it kind of hides like a 007 movie? How do you organize? What is your organized life looking like as the author of this company?
Yeah, I'm neither. I am not a minimalist and I'm not very rigid. I am a very relaxed person. My personality is very relaxed. So my house is very organized, but I'm not rigid. So it helped. What happens is I live just like everybody else. I will come in and I will throw a coat down on the couch. I will leave something on the counter or whatever. But when it's time to clean up, it's easy. It's so easy to clean up. So no, my clients think that my house is immaculate. And it's not. But it is easy to clean up. I have everything in a place. I don't put like I took my vitamins last night. I just left them on the nightstand. They're not. That's not where they go, right? So, I'm I'm not a very rigid person, but I am organized. I don't know if that makes sense.
It
That's just
does.
how I live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I would imagine so because you're a practitioner of this lifestyle. So I'd imagine you've interwoven it. I mean, you've done it for so long. So I got to know, um, ultimately, at the end of the day, what are you the proudest of everything that you've done, everything that you've become? What are you the proudest of?
My children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I have two boys. They are 22 and 20. And oh my goodness, they're just such amazing young men. And I'm not going to get emotional, but when I look at them, you don't know you've done a good job until they're about 20, 25,
Right.
right? And just to see, like, we just recently moved here to St. Louis, and they were actually working together on the same job, a moving company. Well, it was a furniture company, and they helped move furniture. And the way that they gave them the goodbye, how they honored them and was gonna miss them, it just touched my heart so much. because I just know the type of people they are. And so they are my prized possession that ah you got me,
No,
Joe.
you're good. You're good. You're good.
But yeah, so I'm so proud of who they become, and like just looking at them, the conversations we have, who they want to continue to grow to be, right? So my youngest, we're working to get him into the Air Force, and my oldest, he's working, both working a job, but still striving for something better. And he wants to be an entrepreneur, and so we're trying to work with that. So just they're just so mature and so wise. I mean, when I was their age, I was not nowhere near as smart as they are.
Yeah.
So they're just such a blessing.
So do you still learn all the time? I mean, you're the one that everybody comes to as the expert, but it's kind of a two-way avenue. I mean, when you have clients, you will learn things. Are you still surprised by how much you learn about your life and organization and what you can give to your clients?
Absolutely. I'm a student. I'm a student in every aspect of my life that's actually growing and developing. And me as a professional organizer, I am growing and developing. I am a part of not only the president of the National Association of Black Professional Organizers, I am a part of the National Association of Productivity and Organizing. I'm a part of the ICD, which is the International. Oh man, ICD is chronic disorder, international chronic disorder. So we deal with ADHD, um, uh, hoarding, just all the chronic disorders that comes with being disorganized. So I'm a student first. I love to learn, and that's why I'm going back to school to be a therapist.
So at the end of the day, everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, everyone that knows you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Ah, oh, Joe, that's a good question. Um, I am a servant. I love to serve. If I go in a room and there's things going on, I'm gonna find some way to help. I'm gonna get my hands dirty in some aspect. I can be a little bit bossy because, that's just what I do. Like, I can take charge of a situation and help to make it better. But ultimately, I'm a servant. I love to serve people. I love to help people. When I got to my dad's house and we moved in with him, because he has a huge house and it's just him, and it's like he still had a lot of stuff. So now I'm like helping him create magic here, and he's like, "Whoa, how did you do that?" So I'm just a servant. I love to help people, no matter where it is. Like it doesn't matter the space and the environment. I have a hard time with sitting back and not doing anything.
All right, so we've gotten everybody motivated. For everybody that wants to reach out, they want to get organized, they want your sage wisdom. Where do they go? How do they do it?
So you can find me on all the social medias at Takilla Renee. And my business outside of the organized life is Xtreme Audacity Organized Solutions. And you can find us on all the platforms also at Xtreme Audacity. My website for the business is extremeaudacity.com. And now the extreme does not have an E, so it's going to be XTREMEAUDACITY.com. So that's all the platforms where you can find us.
And I'll make it easy. I'll put the links in the show notes. Takilla, this has been wonderful. Thank you for taking time out. This has been fascinating. Best of luck with everything. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Joe. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.